What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Lil Hater back at it again with a brand new video, and today we're gonna be watching 3 true creepy roommate horror stories. This video is made by IMR Scary Tales, so big shout out to them. They make some crazy ass videos and they are kind of scary and kind of funny at the same time. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. All right, here we go.
Moving in with a new roommate was supposed to be a fresh start. After a messy breakup and the end of my lease, finding Megan's ad for a room felt like a stroke of luck.
Beautiful.
The apartment was charming. A vintage two-bedroom and hardwood floors in the city. Megan was quiet and a little looking. Dark circles and red eyes. On the first night, as I unpacked boxes in my new room, I heard faint scraping coming from the walls. It was a rhythmic sound, like nails dragging across plaster. I pressed my ear against the cold surface.
Is someone...
At breakfast the next morning, I mentioned it casually.
Hey, do you ever hear weird noises at night? Like scratching?
Interesting.
Megan looked up from her tea, her expression unreadable.
It's an old building.
That bitch looks so creepy. Too creepy.
It makes sounds.
She sipped slowly, her gaze lingering on me just a moment too long. Days passed and the unsettling noises continued. One evening, I noticed tiny holes in the walls of my bedroom, almost imperceptible. They were strategically placed. One bed, another the bathroom. Peering through one, I saw only darkness. I grabbed some tape and paper, covering them up. But the next morning, the coverings were gone. The holes seemed wider. A sense of violation washed over me. I confronted Megan.
Did you remove the paper I put on my wall?
She glanced at me, eyes reflecting the dim kitchen light.
Why would I go into your room? Maybe you imagined putting them up?
That night, sleep eluded me. Every creak of the apartment amplified my paranoia. Around 2 a.m., I heard the scraping again, louder this time, almost agitated. It seemed to move along the wall, behind my headboard. I whispered into the darkness.
Who are you? What do you want?
Interesting.
A faint giggle echoed in response. The following day, I found my closet door ajar. Clothes I hadn't worn were missing. Hours later, they reappeared, folded neatly on my bed. A scent clung to them, a mix of damp earth and something sweet, almost rotten. I decided to stay out. At a coffee shop, I opened my laptop to distract myself, but the webcam light flickered on in the middle. I frowned. Moments later, a message popped up on my screen.
Why don't you?
To see you.
What?
My heart raced.
What?
Who is this?
No response. I slammed the laptop shut and headed home.
Absolutely
In my
not.
room, I locked the door and pushed a chair against it. Exhausted, I collapsed
Put a
onto the
knife?
bed,
Really?
clutching a kitchen knife under my pillow. Sometime during the night, I felt a presence. My eyes fluttered open to see Megan standing at the foot of my bed,
Absolutely
her
not.
silhouette illuminated by the faint glow of the streetlights outside.
Megan? What are you doing?
Hell
You
no.
were screaming. I wanted to make sure you're okay.
Absolutely
I
not.
hadn't screamed.
Please, get out.
She lingered for a moment before slipping out of the room. The next morning, I decided I couldn't stay there any longer. I began packing, determined to leave by nightfall. As I gathered my things, a small flash drive fell out of one of my boxes.
What?
I didn't recognize it. Curiosity overrode caution. Plugging it into the laptop, I opened the only folder on it labeled "For Claire." Dozens of video files appeared. Clicking the most recent one, my screen filled with a grainy night vision recording of my bedroom. I watched in horror as footage played of me
What the
sleeping,
fuck,
tossing
yo?
and turning. The timestamp was from the night before. My breath caught as the camera panned. Megan stood in the corner watching me.
Absolutely
Eyes
not.
gleamed unnaturally in the infrared light. I clicked on another file. It showed in the bathroom, undressing
What
for a
the
shower.
heck?
Tears blurred my vision as I realized the extent of the invasion. A final file sat at the bottom of the list, titled With a shaking hand, I opened it. It was a live feed in my room. From the angle, it was clear the camera was inside the wall. Suddenly, the video shook and a message flashed across the screen.
I'm coming.
A loud thud resonated from the hallway. Panic surged through me. I grabbed my phone to call the police, but there was no signal. The lights flickered and then went out,
What the
plunging the
fuck?
apartment into darkness. Footsteps approached. The doorknob rattled.
Claire, let me in.
Her voice was distorted. I backed away.
What the
clutching
fuck
the
was
knife.
that?
The door creaked open. It shouldn't have. I'd locked it. She stood there, but something was wrong. Her limbs were too long, joints bending in
What
unnatural
the
angles.
hell?
Her face was dark, eyes sunken deep.
You shouldn't have tried to leave.
I screamed, darting past her and into the hallway. From behind, I heard the scraping, the same I'd heard in the walls,
Hell
now
no.
amplified, chasing me. Bursting into the living room, I found the front door, but it wouldn't budge. Megan's laughter echoed. Desperate, I smashed a window with a nearby chair and crawled out, cutting myself on the shards. I ran into the night, not
Hell
stopping
no.
until I reached a brightly lit gas station. The attendant stared as I stumbled in, disheveled and bleeding. Miss, are you
What
okay?
the fuck?
I tried to explain, words tumbling incoherently. They called the police, who arrived swiftly. I told them everything about Megan, the cameras, the flash drive. An officer frowned.
Oh shit.
Ma'am, that building's been
Wait,
abandoned for
can't hear it.
years.
Wait, pause. Wait, sorry, I can't hear it. Wait.
My blood turned to ice.
No. I moved in last week.
What the
Megan is my
fuck?
roommate.
They exchanged glances. We'll take a look. But the last tenant in that apartment was a woman named Margaret, who died decades ago. They escorted me back. The building stood ahead, windows boarded up, graffiti covering the walls.
What?
Inside, dust coated every surface. My belongings were nowhere to be seen. In the apartment where I'd lived, only decay remained. But in the center of the living room sat a single item, a vintage camcorder on a tripod, pointing towards the door. Attached was a note in familiar handwriting.
Thank you for the performance.
I stared
the
in disbelief.
fuck?
The officers guided me outside as I trembled uncontrollably. It's
Wow.
strange how close someone can come to your heart without you ever realizing they're slowly squeezing it, draining life away with every beat. Claudia and I were sisters in every sense of the word. Ever since I met her 20 years back at a charity event, she'd been there through everything. My marriage, Jake's birth, my divorce. When Mike left, it was Claudia who stood by my side,
That's
mopping
cute.
my tears and helping me piece together my shattered life. Jake loved her too. So, when I had my hip surgery, I didn't think twice about letting her practically move in to help. I trusted her with everything. She cooked, cleaned, and took care of Jake. She was my rock, always smiling, understanding smile. But then the cracks began to show. Tiny things, almost invisible at first. The sickness had started shortly after Jake's 17th birthday. A simple cold at first, nothing to be concerned about. Then it grew and kept growing until the fatigue became unbearable, creeping into my bones. No matter how much I rested, it only deteriorated. I was in and out of the doctor's office, subjecting myself to tests that gave no answers. No matter what I tried, no matter how many pills they shoved down my throat, my body was failing me. It wasn't until later I got to know that it wasn't just my body failing. Claudia began acting strange. She was quieter around Jake, visibly more nervous. At first, I ignored it. What was there to doubt? She was a mother figure for Jake, right? And the stress of caring for me and Jake couldn't have been easy. I asked her about it once. We were sitting in my dimly lit living room, the cold shadows pressing against the walls like silent spectators. Claudia giggled nervously.
Jake
They
ain't our
fucking-
tiny boy anymore, Lila. He's growing up and learning things that he wants to experience.
They fucked.
Claudia avoided my eyes.
They fucked. That's what it was,
But
twin.
I had seen it. The wave of
They
disgust
did
had
something.
almost knocked me over. I needed to have a chat with Jake. That afternoon, Claudia was out shopping when I
Jake was hitting that thing, you heard?
Miss Claudia too.
He looked at me, confused at first. His nostrils flared. My son was furious at the accusation. He suggested I'd interrogate her friend instead. She had been suggesting me things, Mom. The way he said it, his voice strained, almost
Interesting.
panicked, sent a shiver down my spine. I kept quiet because I didn't want to stress her out. I dismissed his claims of innocence. A girl 18 fueled by hormones, seeing things that weren't there. Claudia had always treated him like her own son. It had to be him. You don't understand, Mom. He snapped, his face flushed with frustration.
No, it was
I'll
him.
prove it to you. I should have listened, but instead I brushed him off. That night, my malaise worsened. My skin felt cold and clammy. My breath came in shallow gasps. I was trapped
What the
in my body,
hell?
helpless as it collapsed under the weight of illness I could not understand. I laboriously dragged my sweaty body towards Claudia's room, hoping to get help. Did I know I was in for the shock of my life? I overheard Claudia. She was on the phone with someone. Her voice was a low, whisper.
I'm going to take him away.
She said. Him? Her words clawed at my mind,
Hey,
sending
yo.
a wave of nausea through me. Who was she talking to? What did she mean? Before I could confront her, Jake stormed in and dragged me out to the hospital, pale and frantic.
What
In
the
his
hell?
hands, he held vials, small glass containers, and petri dishes he'd found hidden in Claudia's room earlier. He showed me the labels.
She
words I
poisoned
didn't
her.
Understand,
She poisoned
but they
her.
reeked of a lethal scheme. My mind spun. I didn't want to believe it. Not Claudia, not her. But deep down, I knew.
It was
I
her.
immediately rang
What
Dr.
the
Maya,
fuck?
an old colleague from my nursing days, begging her to help me. She ran the tests, and when the results came back, they shattered what little remained of my world. The infections weren't natural, they were induced. Someone had been slowly poisoning me, introducing resistant bacteria into my system. That someone was Claudia.
Wow.
The realization hit me like a freight train. The woman I trusted with my life, my son's life,
Killing her.
had been killing me.
That's
slowly,
crazy.
methodically, for months, all to take Jake away. I couldn't breathe. Dr. Maya called the authorities. Detective O'Hara, an investigator, took over, and soon the FBI got involved. They set a trap. I had been expecting another shipment of bacteria. This time, they intercepted it. The night they arrested her, I watched from the window as they pulled her away in handcuffs. She fought, screamed, and denied everything.
That is
But under the weight
crazy.
of the evidence, she had to crack. Claudia confessed how she believed I wasn't fit to raise Jake and didn't deserve Mike. She thought I was a failure, and everyone involved in my life deserved better.
Removing her was necessary.
She screamed. I shuddered when the police car's red and blue lights faded into the night. Claudia was gone, but her shadow lingered, a stain
is
I'd
fucking
never be
crazy.
able to wash away. Claudia was everything Jake and I talked about for days to come. We had survived, but the world felt colder now, darker. There was no more illusions left, just the terrifying truth that the truth might be what the eyes couldn't see. And everything that we see isn't always the
What they-
truth.
God damn, son.
Moving into a new apartment
That's
in the
fucking
city
crazy.
was supposed to be a fresh start. After months of searching, I finally found a place that fit my budget and came with a roommate named Rachel. She was quiet and had her quirks. The first night after unpacking, I took a long shower to wash my dress. The bathroom was small but clean. A clawfoot tub and a shower
Beautiful.
curtain adorned with
Beautiful.
abstract patterns. I closed the curtain fully before stepping in, enjoying the hot water cascading over me.
Nice.
When I finished, I noticed the curtain was slightly ajar. Shrugging it off, I dried myself and headed to bed. In the morning, as I made my way to the kitchen, I noticed wet footprints leading from the bathroom to Rachel's room. They were small, like mine, but I hadn't been in the bathroom since the night before.
Hey, Rachel. Did you take a shower last night?
She looked up from her cereal, a hint of confusion on her face.
No, I went to bed early. Why?
Nice.
I hesitated.
No reason. Must have been my imagination.
Over the next few days, the unsettling incidents continued. My toothbrush disappeared from its holder,
Not the
only to
toothbrush.
reappear in my room, damp and with a strange metallic taste when I used it. One
Ew.
evening, I returned home to find the shower running. Steam billowed from under the bathroom door.
Nobody was
Knocking
there.
softly, I called out.
Rachel? You in there?
No response. I opened the door
Huh.
cautiously. The room was empty, the mirror fogged over. Written
Lisa.
in the condensation was my name, scrawled repeatedly. My heart pounded.
Rachel, this isn't funny.
She appeared behind me, startling me.
What's wrong?
I pointed to the mirror.
Did you do this?
She glanced at the mirror, her face unreadable.
I don't see anything.
I blinked, and when I looked back, the writing was gone.
Oh, hell
Sleep
no.
became difficult.
Hell
Every creak in
no.
the apartment set my nerves on edge. One night, a soft whispering pulled me from sleep. I strained to listen. Throwing off the cover, I crept toward the sound. It led me to the bathroom. The door was slightly open, a sliver of light cutting through the
What the
darkness.
hell?
Peering inside, I saw Rachel standing in front of the mirror, her hands tracing circles on its surface.
Rachel?
She didn't turn.
She doesn't see. She doesn't know.
Hell
A
no.
chill ran down my spine.
Know what?
Her head snapped toward me, eyes wide and lips curled into a grin that didn't reach her
Absolutely not.
You're up late.
eyes. I backed away.
Couldn't sleep.
She stepped closer.
You should rest. Big day tomorrow.
What the
I fled
fuck?
to my room, locking the door behind me.
Nah.
Determined to uncover what was happening, I decided to search Rachel's room while she was out. Her room was sparse, a neatly made bed, a dresser, and an odd number of mirrors lining the walls. But as I opened her closet, my missing items tumbled out. Clothes, towels, even my hairbrush, all arranged
What?
meticulously. At the back of the closet, I found a notebook filled with pages upon pages of handwriting. It was my name, written over and over, interspersed with bizarre sketches of faces. Some
Wow.
mine, others
Absolutely not.
distorted versions.
Absolutely
A
not.
floorboard creaked behind me.
Looking for something?
I spun around, the notebook clutched to my chest.
Why do you have my things?
She tilted her head, eyes glinting.
Borrowed them. You have such good taste.
I tried to steady my voice.
Absolutely not.
This isn't normal.
Absolutely
You're
not.
invading my privacy.
She took a step forward.
Privacy? We're roommates. We share everything.
I edged toward the door.
I think I need to find a new place.
Her smile faded.
You can't leave. Not when we're so close.
I didn't wait to hear more. Pushing past her, I ran to my room to grab my phone. As I dialed 911, the line went dead. No signal. Rachel's voice echoed from the hallway.
You won't get away that easily.
Desperate, I tried
Hell
the front door,
no.
but it was bolted shut. The lock jammed. Panic surged. Rushing back to the bathroom, I thought of escaping through the window. As I entered, something caught my eye. A small red light blinking in the mirror.
What?
Leaning in, I realized it wasn't a mirror at all, but a two-way window with a camera embedded behind it. A video feed played on Rachel's tablet, propped discreetly on the counter. It was me, in various states of undress, showering, brushing my teeth, even sleeping. Horror washed over me.
What have you done?
Rachel stood in the doorway, blocking
What
my
the
exit.
fuck?
I've been documenting us.
Whoop her ass.
Our lives together.
I glared at her.
Hell
Her features
no.
seemed to blur for a moment,
Hell no.
shifting subtly to resemble mine.
What are you talking about?
She stepped closer, her voice eerily calm.
I've always admired you, Lisa. Your
No.
life, your friends, your smile. I want it all.
I realized then that her clothes were mine, fitting her perfectly. Her hair, once brown, now had streaks matching my own blonde
What?
highlights.
You're insane.
She lunged at me, and we grappled, knocking over the table. The screen shattered, and a distorted video played, showing her practicing my mannerisms, mimicking my voice. With a surge of adrenaline, I pushed her away and raced toward the kitchen. Grabbing a knife, I faced her.
Stay back.
She laughed, a sound devoid of any
What
warmth.
the fuck?
You can't hurt me. We're the same now.
Sirens wailed in the distance. As I would learn later, a neighbor had heard the commotion and called the police. Rachel's expression twisted into rage.
You ruined everything.
She charged at me.
Stab
but
her
before
ass.
she could reach me, the door burst open. An officer stormed in. Drop the weapon! I realized they were shouting at me. I dropped the knife, hands raised.
Help me. She's trying to steal my identity.
They glanced at Rachel, who now stood cowering, tears streaming down her face.
I don't know what's happening. She just attacked me.
Confusion flooded me.
What?
No, she's lying. She's been spying on me.
An officer gently restrained me.
No! Ask her what happened in Geneva. And then call my mom to confirm.
Her smile faded. She made up a story about how a burglar had stolen her purse. But then the cops dialed my mother, who confirmed with the fact that I have never been to Geneva. She was arrested. I had to present my
Beautiful.
passport as the truth that I had never indeed been there. I don't know why she did that, but I convinced myself that she must have been a psycho to try to
What?
become someone else.
What the fuck do some people? What do some people be thinking? Like honestly, what do some people be thinking? Like, I don't get it. But you know, it is what it is. Don't trust nobody. If you get a place, try to do it by yourself. If you can't get it by yourself, book with somebody that you actually can truly trust. Just be careful out there, guys. There's no, you know what I mean? Don't get fucked up. You feel me? But that is 3 true creepy roommate horror stories. Again, big shout out to IMR Scary Tales. These people are fucking insane. They make some crazy ass videos. We got some crazy videos coming out this week, I'm hoping. So let's have a good week. If you're new to the channel, man, make sure you hit the like button. And damn, I fucked that up. If you like this kind of video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We hit 118 just this week. Previous week. I really appreciate it. We're gonna go to 500 subs by the end of the year. As always, I will see y'all next time, and hopefully y'all have a fantastic week. I will see y'all next time. Peace out.